Morning, everybody. Welcome to week 6. We're almost at the end here, so I hope you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's getting brighter and brighter, and that's a good thing. I know a lot of you have been concerned about how the class has gone, or you've been worried about maybe not knowing as much about this kind of technology, but you've gotten this far, and you only have a little farther to go. And for those of you who have been doing very well and kind of breezing through everything, it is kind of nice to feel like you're at the end of this semester and you have one under your belt. So that's important to keep in mind also, because we want to make sure that we're scheduling and budgeting our time properly. Since this is week 6 and we're already pretty much almost halfway through it, these weeks go by so fast, we only have 1.5 weeks left. So 7.5, I just want to put something out there about that. Next week, week 7, we're going to talk about PowerPoint. There is that little half week afterwards. And so there's not going to be tons of new content there, but there are a couple of assignments that you have to make sure that you have done. It's usually that Tuesday. I'm trying to remember when it is. I usually have the assignments or the grades due by that Wednesday. So you really have 2 or 3 days that end up being basically kind of summing everything up, but also it's an opportunity for you to hand in any kind of work that is late. So a lot of you have been asking about that. Things have been coming up, people have been sick, you've been sick, things have happened so that you've maybe missed an assignment or something. If you have a concern about late work, let me know. Send me an email. I'd be happy to try to address any of those kinds of things. I like to try to show a little bit more grace to my students, if you will, and give you some opportunities to hand in some late work without any kind of significant penalty. Because I know, look, this isn't your only class, and these assignments tend to add up quickly, and they can feel really overwhelming. So if you have concerns about late assignments, whether or not I'll accept late assignments, just send me an email, and I'd be happy to address it. So this week we're continuing on our discussion of Excel. We're kind of moving on to more advanced things in Excel, so we're talking more about some of the functions and formulas that you can use. And these are things like being able to add up figures in a column, or coming up with percentages, things like that. There's tons you can do with these formulas and figures. So I would highly suggest kind of playing with some of these things to see what other kinds of formulas you can come up with, because this is one of those features in Excel that is often little understood by people. But if you do understand them and you can write your own even, it really becomes a big selling point for you when it comes to Excel work and Excel proficiency. So we're going to be working on that. The other assignment that you have for this week, I don't want you to be confused by it, is called the ACT assessment. So in some of your other classes, hopefully you've been doing some of these other ACT assessments. There's one that's I think a talent assessment. You might do that in Com 104 if I'm not mistaken. There's a math one. There's a couple of them. And they're all building towards this kind of ACT assessment that you get while here at Bryant & Stratton. This is to kind of show employers that you are really kind of basically employable. And there's these 4 or 5 different areas that you can point to and say, look, I've done all of these different kinds of assessments. And so here in INFT 124, you have an assessment as well. Now, it's kind of complex, and so I don't want you to be afraid that when you're done with this, you're like, what the heck did I just get through? All these questions are crazy. And you look at your grade, you say, oh man, this is it, I'm done. No, all the grades are basically curved upwards. So whatever grade you have, don't worry, whether it's a good one or a bad one, don't worry, because they all go up, which is very, very nice. Also keep in mind this assessment has questions on it that range from kind of the high school level all the way to, frankly, the graduate level. And so that's because they use this assessment at all sorts of different kinds of institutions. So if you don't know certain questions, don't worry about that. Don't freak out. This is not something that's going to seriously affect your grade in a negative way. Just do the best you can and kind of get through it. And you probably end up doing a lot better than you think. So when you get through that, I just wanted to mention that so that when you get to that, you don't get too apprehensive about it. As always, let me know if you have any questions, any concerns. You've all been very, very good about emailing me. And so continue to do that. Use the Ask Your Instructor forum as well. I will be having my office hours. I'm back in town, so if there have been problems with me trying to get a hold of you, in kind of a quick manner. Hopefully that's not going to be a concern now. So tomorrow, which is Wednesday, I will have my office hours from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, any questions, just let me know, folks. Thanks very much.